Hey guys, and welcome to episode 5 of Parkinwad Plays Subnautica. We've been having a ton of fun so far, finding out all kinds of new secrets about this new planet designated 4546b. We've started to explore the Aurora, our crash ship, and we've even heard from a rescue ship that it's on its way to help us out called the Sunbeam. So we are on our way to the landing zone to be rescued and hopefully get off this foreign world. Come along for the adventure.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So we arrive at the island that the Sunbeam is about to land on to rescue us. And that little flash that we saw down there was actually a new enemy in the game. And we're going to see it up close and in person here shortly. So we travel around the island here. And right as we're about to make landfall, what happens but this? We get warped onto. Now this enemy is called a warper. They are not friendly. It took down a quarter of our Seamoth's health in a couple of hits, so you gotta be careful. You don't want to hang around them too long. And they also have an interesting ability to warp you out of a vehicle and into the open water, where they are much more easily able to damage you. So you have to be very careful around these. If they do warp you out of the vehicle, swim, move, don't stay stationary. There you go, it just shot at me there to try to do a warp attack. So they can do melee damage up close, and then they will try to pull you close to them through a warp attack, and they can do it so that they can warp you out of vehicles. So if you're in your Cyclops or in your Seamoth, it can happen. So do beware of that. And if you do get warped out of your vehicle, make sure that you swim for your life, get back in the vehicle, and try to get out of there.
Survivor, we see you. Man, I don't know how you held out down there. We broke an atmosphere, and we're descending towards the landing site. Is that a building down there? What do you mean you can't identify it? Hold on. No turning back now. Positions, everyone. Touching down in 10, 9, 8. It's coming from the building? Change course. Set thrusters to full.
What? Okay, well, we've just seen some pretty brutal devastation there. Our rescue ship just got shot out of the sky on approach. Unbelievable, man. Now the weapon packs up. Man, that was messed up. Man, there's like nothing left of that ship. Well, we're already on this island, so we might as well do some exploring while we're here. And we find this random purple tablet thing lying here on the ground. which, a bit of a spoiler alert, plug your ears for a second if you don't want to know just yet. It is a key. So if you're mindful of all the little baddies running around in here, this place has a myriad of resources between lithium, I believe gold, diamonds. There's all kinds of resources here, so make sure you crack open anything and pick up anything that's on the walls. Like that there, the shale outcrops, there's a bit of gold there.
Remember that materials you gather are the property of the All-Terra Corporation. You will be liable to reimburse the full market price. Your current bill stands at 3 million credits.
Obviously, I'm not going to bore you guys with my looting the entire cave system, so we're just going to head back to the Seamoth and take our newfound loot. And we'll be back here before too long. In fact, there's something we can do while we're here right now, but I'm not going to show that to you just yet. We'll come back for that later. In the meantime, we're going to get a laser cutter. We've got more exploring to do, so we got to build a laser cutter, and that'll allow us to get into some of those wrecks and start unlocking more of the items we're going to need to explore further and unlock more of this planet. So since we're stuck here, we might as well make the best of it. We're going to head on over to the Seamoth and we'll leave this island.
Playing partially translated broadcast.
9 new biological subjects designated. Mode. Hunting. Analyzing. Sharing subject locations with other agents.
Okay, well, whatever that was, I hope we don't run into it anytime soon. In the meantime,
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I think we're going to do some more base building. But before we jump into continuing to build our base, there's a couple things we want. First one here is the beacon. And what that allows us to do is anywhere on the map we can toggle it on or off, but I typically leave it on, at least for my home base and a few other things. Lets you know exactly where home base is anywhere in the world. The next important thing we're making right now is the laser cutter. That's going to allow us to explore some of the wrecks and get some of those further into the game or closer to end game type items that we're going to need to explore deeper, farther, and faster. So now that we have that built, we can carry on with a bit of base building. That being said, it's a lot easier said than done. I spent probably the next couple of hours just doing resource gathering. Getting titanium and quartz for glass and all the other stuff you need to build a proper base. So it can be time consuming. Just keep at it, plan it out, kind of understand what you're looking for in your base, what you need things to do. And we're going to be going later on in this episode to a place. We need a different type of room that we don't have access to yet. So we have to go discover that, and I'll show you where that is. It's basically on an island directly behind the Aurora. So if you are facing the Aurora from your life pod, look to the right and you'll kind of see a cloud on the horizon. Head in that direction and you will run into where you need to get the multi-purpose room, it's called. So here I'm trying to place the scanner room, but I'm having a little bit of intersection issue. And the problem simply is that the foundation is literally intersecting with the scanner room when I try to build it right there. So all we have to do is add a little pop out, a little eye compartment, and that simply allows it to protrude out past the foundation and allows the scanner room to work properly. Okay, there you have it. This base is starting to come together, looking really good. Here's an interesting one that you're going to see when you build a scanner. Top left corner of the screen, right now, you'll see that yellow spot. That's one of my cameras from the scanner room. You get 2 cameras with the scanner when you first build it, and it's being carried away by a stalker right now. So you'll have to chase them down every now and then too. Don't worry, it's not a big deal unless they go to range.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So I'm just having a problem with these guys encroaching too much on my base space. So I'm just driving them away a little bit. If you attack them a couple of times, it kind of chases them farther away, and then it takes them a longer time to come back, if they come back at all. So I've run into a couple of them that are constantly aggravating me, taking the taking the cameras and running away with them and that sort of thing. And so I just drive them away a little bit. Yeah, so earlier in this video I had told you we were going to go to an island to get the multi-purpose room. Well, this is the island, so we're directly leaving the back of the Aurora. The engines are facing us, so we are headed towards, away from the back of the Aurora. And as I mentioned, just follow that cloud, and eventually an island, a mountainous island, will come into view. And I'm actually going into a lesser known entrance. If you dive underneath the island towards the center, it's not terribly easy to find, but it is in there. We're just going to do a little bit of hunting here, you'll see it. There is a central cavern, and the center of the island is hollow all the way up to the sky, but you can actually dive under it, and there it is there. There's a pool in the center. So you can come up at the surface of the island in the center and just dock your Seamoth off to the side somewhere. It doesn't really matter where. Except for right here, because you will glitch. Yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen.
picking up multiple energy signatures on the island's surface.
Yeah, so just go ahead and explore the island. There's a couple of things at the peaks. There's 2 peaks on this mountainous island that you'll want to visit. And at the top of each of those peaks, there's a couple things you can scan. That's, it's a bit of it right there you just saw at the top of the screen a second ago. So you'll find a few things in there you can scan. Just climb up to the top of there. I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you, but just climb up to the top of there and you'll see a few things you can scan. Scan anything and everything you can, and we'll head back to home base here shortly.
New blueprint. New blueprint acquired. New blueprint acquired. Integrating new PDA data.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
This is an automated distress signal from Life Pod 12. Coordinates attack. Warning, Life Pod has sunk beyond safe diving distance. Do not attempt retrieval without submersible support.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Farming alien plants is a proven survival strategy. Craig McGill survived 47 months on a healthy, raw salad of live tree roaches and stank root.
Awesome.
It may be prudent to separate work and leisure spaces to maximize productivity. Treat this space as your home, but never forget that it is not.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Oh, this biome creeps me out. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're trying to time these bone sharks. So as soon as he's kind of far enough away or away enough, then you just kind of dive in quickly. Once you're inside the life pod, it's usually okay, you're safe enough. But you do have to be careful of attacks from them. They are like that, quite readily aggravated. So now here we're just going to wait for him to kind of mosey along a little bit, right to the left of life pod 12 there. And he's kind of preoccupied. So just to the, it's kind of between you and the pod now. And no, none of those are friendly either. Ah, he's back again, man. Okay, so you saw on the ground right there, just a quick flash. But I'm looking around, making sure there's no other enemies that are going to be getting too close here. Okay, we're going to make a quick break for it, pick up the data pad, and get back in the Seamoth as quickly as we can, because here he comes. Look at that, just missed me. So that was quite well executed, if only barely. Now these guys here are called amp eels, and they're almost worse to be attacked by than those bone sharks, because they actually will shut down your submarine while causing quite a bit of damage, so you definitely want to avoid them if at all possible. So I'm diving this cave because I saw a couple of resources, rubies namely, and rubies are handy as we get further along here, so I figured I'm already in the biome, might as well do the quick cave dive and pick up some of these rarer resources. That's a bit of uraninite. We can run a nuclear power generator with that stuff before too long here. Once I can find the nuclear reactor fragments to scan, then we'll be able to power our entire base with nuclear power for long periods of time. So definitely picking up some of these rarer resources since I'm already in this biome and the enemies don't seem to be bothering me where I am right now.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Well guys, I really enjoyed that. If you really enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button, let me know to do more of them. If you're enjoying the whole series, definitely hit that subscribe button. There's a little bell beside there that'll notify you as well if you hit that as to when I put up a new video. So jump in your Seamoth, explore the planet. Click here to watch the next video in the series, and click here to watch the previous video in the series. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.